Gentlemen, when you learn exactly why others are idiots, it becomes much easier to learn from their mistakes and become their superiors. You see, most people are uneducated, uninformed, and oblivious to the understanding of their own history, economy, government, and human nature. What's most concerning is the fact that these same peasants are happy about their own sense of ignorance to life. Most people can't even name 5 countries and their capitals, let alone name 5 amendments of the Constitution of their own country. They willfully stay ignorant because the effort needed to become informed is deemed too boring, or it was too long, so I didn't read it, preferring to indulge in mindless entertainment, rather than to do the work to become an intellectually astute and capable individual. Being ignorant is dangerous, and it sets one up to be vulnerable to manipulation, exploitation, and destruction. It is important to understand history, because anytime someone has an idea or plan that they want to enact, at some point, through the course of the thousands of years of recorded human history, though maybe in a different language or cultural context, that movie has been played before, and we can look back upon the results of these incidences as a guiding reference point. Specifically, in history, we can see the results of what happens when an entire population of the common people falls into willful ignorance, preferring to be entertained rather than to be informed. We see this demonstrated in the fall of the Roman Empire. At the height of the Roman Empire, under the expansion of Emperor Marcus Aurelius, Rome was the most powerful and influential civilization on the planet, with Roman dominance extending from Britannia to the Middle East. However, after the death of Marcus Aurelius began the empire's centuries-long decline into collapse. During this time, the Romans had conquered everything around them, and the average citizen of Rome had very little need to resist hardship. The abundance, wealth, and safety of Rome, as well as the lack of opposition from foreign invaders, led the citizenry to be weak and given to idleness. And in order to keep this population from getting out of line and engaging in mischief due to their idleness, the Roman government sponsored free public entertainment daily at the Hippodrome, also known as the Colosseum, along with free handouts of bread during the live spectacles. The populace no longer had a reason to work for anything, or to sharpen their minds, because their existence was comfortable with their daily food sustenance provided for free. Why would they have any reason for self-betterment, when the free Hippodrome circus was more entertaining, and self-betterment was boring? You see, years and years of free bread and entertainment made the Romans fat, lazy, weak, and unprepared for hardship and adversity. While meanwhile, the barbarian Ostrogoths and Visigoths, living on the cold, wild frontier in constant warfare, were being hardened and strengthened by their need for innovation, adaptation, and self-improvement just in order to survive. And when the time came for the battle-hardened and brutal Germanic tribes to invade Rome, it was a slaughter, as the once great Roman Empire fell, city by city. Its weak and complacent citizens were massacred by the ferocious barbarians, who were hardened by hardship, warfare, and struggle to exist. And unfortunately, the same thing is happening to the average person living in the West today. Many of you would rather be mindlessly entertained by TikTok, video games, or your favorite TV series. You would rather believe whatever popular propagandistic narrative those in power have programmed you to believe through media, than to do the work to research to actually find the truth. And you purposely stay in this place of complacency and ignorance, believing the easy narrative, the popular narrative, no matter how ridiculous and nonsensical the propaganda narrative is. What's even worse is you will confidently walk around and repeat the garbage that you heard through media to others as if you have the slightest clue of what you're talking about. For example, how many times do you see people driving around in their car alone wearing a mask, or walking around outside wearing a mask, even though actual data shows that there is not a single documented incidence of transmission of a certain virus outdoors? These same slave-minded people, though, when having a discussion about this certain illness, will speak to others, will speak to you, so matter-of-factly, as if they know what they're talking about, and even attack people who state common facts and disagree with them. These same people actually believe that a surgical mask that you can see through will protect you from a microscopic virus that is out to get you. But that this virus, however, is scared of you when you're sitting down to eat, and so you can take off your mask at the table and be fine as you're eating. But the moment you stand up to go to sit down on the toilet and take a dump, the virus is out to get you again, and so you need to mask up. The virus isn't afraid of you when you're standing up, but only when you're sitting down to eat. But it's not afraid of you when you're sitting down to take a dump. This ridiculous narrative. These people actually believe this. And the people who actually believe this are active demonstrations of what it means to be slave-minded. They are so lazy and entertained that they would rather be told what to believe, rather than to step away from their entertainment long enough to do the work to seek out the truth. Why are children so easy to manipulate? Because they are intellectually inferior to most adults. This state of intellectual inferiority is the position in which the majority of today's society is putting themselves at an alarming rate. And what's worse is they're doing so willfully. So how does one resist the slave mind? How does one become the manipulator and not the manipulated? The conqueror instead of the conquered? The enslaver instead of the enslaved? By intentionally sharpening the biggest and most powerful weapon you have, your mind. Force yourself to limit your intake of mindless entertainment and replace it with things that make you smarter, sharper, more informed, and more dangerous. Instead of playing video games or watching trifling TV dramas, watch a historical documentary on something that you find interesting. Instead of scrolling through hours of worthless TikTok videos, listen to informative podcasts or audiobooks as you do something productive, like go on a run or go to the gym. It may be hard at first, but consistency builds habits. And I guarantee you that once you make being informed into a habit, you will begin finding the consumption of informative content as entertaining and enjoyable, while excessive mindless entertainment will seem to you as an unbearable waste of time. You will begin to notice yourself becoming smarter and better informed than the people around you, as well as notice an increase of ease in articulating your points and winning arguments. Being the smartest person in the room is the easiest when the people around you are idiots. Being the superior to others is the easiest when the baseline standard for the average person in our society is complete mediocrity. You see, our history is full of examples of conquerors with superior knowledge and tactics, vanquishing societies with inferior levels of knowledge and strategic ability. Just look at how Francisco Pizarro and a mere 200 Spanish conquistadors toppled the million-man Inca Empire. Or how the small tribe of Bantu people in sub-Saharan Africa, with their superior knowledge of agriculture and iron metallurgy, came to conquer most of the other tribes around them and arise to become the predominant culture of the entire subcontinent. My friends, knowledge indeed is power. So much so that Alexander the Great, the conqueror of the entire known world at the time, with an empire extending all the way from Greece to India, collected every scroll, book, and stone tablet that he could find during his conquest, and compiled them into a great library in Alexandria so that he could possess all of the knowledge of the known world. What's even more mind-blowing today is that in the 21st century, you possess more access to knowledge in the palm of your hand or at the click of a mouse than all of the knowledge contained in Alexander's great library. What excuse then do you have to not be informed? Ignorance is to not know something, but stupidity is not caring to know. Being stupid is a choice. Do not be stupid. Resist the slave mind. Now go forth and conquer, my friends. The world is yours.